Y'all know what it is, it's the usual suspect 650-50 draw. Buy your tickets now for your chance at winning half the pot. Cash App, $, usual 50-50. Tickets are on sale for $10 for one, $20 for 3 tickets, and $50 for 10 tickets. Put your desired amount, name or alias, as well as your email address, and the tickets will be set. We announce the winning ticket numbers every other Friday on Supreme Beats Boxing Talk Bullshit on the Beltway, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Remaining proceeds will go directly to the LBDC meeting in Las Vegas. Shout out to the LBDC, and remember,
it's a usual suspect day.
Y'all know what it is, it's the Find the Boxer game. Purchase a box for a chance at winning $500. One of 54 boxes has a missing boxer inside. Purchase your box or boxes by Cash App, $, usual 50-50. Include your box number, name, and email address. Your box number will be confirmed and sent directly to your email. Each box is $20, with a 1 in 54 chance of winning. Remaining proceeds will go directly to the LBDC meet and greet in Las Vegas. Shout out to the LBDC, and remember,
it's a usual suspect day.
Oh, yeah. Yo. What's good? What's good? It's Stormybman, and I am back. Welcoming you to Answering the Bell with Stormybman, our Sunday morning call-in for this Sunday, April 13th, 2025. This is number 162 in the series of call-ins. It's a show that we do a day after of sorts when we've had a card or several cards of boxing on the previous Saturday or Friday evening. So we're here today to talk a little bit about what transpired yesterday, what's on the horizon, and what's happening presently in the sport of boxing. When you call in, you can have subject or matter of discussion to bring into the forefront. That's what it's all about. I want to say welcome everybody out there. Thank you for joining me this Sunday morning. Hope that you came up in with your right frame of mind, because if you didn't, you know we have to help change your mind, put you in your right frame of mind. And you're like, Stormy, what you talking about? Well, you see, when you come in and you ain't in your right frame of mind, we have to put you there, Yeah! Yeah! It ain't nothing like making you put your thinking cap on. Yeah. That's what it's all about. Get out here early. Who leaves the house without their brain? Quite a few, actually, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about coming into the Answering the Bell call-in show, Class is in session, And I see somebody in particular out there early this morning. I heard him this morning tooting his horn and everything. We'll get to him fast enough, Yeah. But, just because you can be correct don't mean that everything else is a reject. Yeah! So, with that being said, welcome everybody to Answering the Bell. We are ready to talk some boxing this morning, man. And I'm going to tell you something. I really enjoy coming out here on Sundays, talking that talk. It's a pleasant thing. It really is. It's a pleasant thing. Come out here with you guys early. You know what I'm saying? Get out here early with you. 'Cause when people don't come in their right frame of mind, we could call them numbskulls. Yeah, that's what we call them, Numbskulls. Yeah. But before we do that, there's one more slight bit of advertising that I have to get out of the way. That's just because the brothers, are out here and we do our thing and we support one another. So bear with me while this last advertisement goes out.
We offer the best grooming methods for you. It's so natural and handcrafted too. We wanna help be a swagger, style, class, and luxury. We got products that are made for you with high quality, yeah. So get in style with the black, yeah.
blackgent.com.
Yeah! So, that be what it be. Welcome, everybody. We're going to talk a little boxing this morning. Let's see who we got in the building for an early roll call. You dig? Let's see who we got. Blackhound TV, who ain't been around in a minute. Where you been, man? Where you been, huh? I thought I was going to have to put you on the back of a milk carton, huh? You ain't seen you in so long. You ain't been in Stormyman's chat in 2025. What's up with that, man? No excuses. Don't you dare write an excuse in the chat, because if you do, I'm coming for you, huh? Don't you write no excuse. Just slide on in there back there like I didn't see you, but you know I did, huh? I saw you coming in here, huh? Eric Jordan, my brother, is out there early. What's happening? There he is, Cono Local TV. Up early, huh? Down there in Florida. You know y'all an hour ahead of us. So you know you just had to get on up early this morning and say, I told you so, Stormy. I told y'all. Y'all listen to me. All you critics crawl, huh? Never again try to tell me I was wrong about Boots. Never again do you try to defeat him. Never again leave him off your pound for pound list. I heard you, Cono Loco. I heard you this morning, huh? I think that's what woke me up. My ears perked up early this morning. I heard the voice of Cono Loco TV out there saying, you see, I told you. But you were right, huh? I can't even say nothing. You were right. This time. Yeah. This time. Yeah. Huh? I heard you. Todd Swindle is in the building. What's happening with you? Been a minute for you as well. What you doing, huh? Sliding on into the house. And then we got Freedom's March back with us. Snoopy Mac in the building saying salute to the wise one. Yeah. Some of you guys are saluting one another. Universal Truth is back in the building saying salute Sensei in chat. Shower Liars out there saying blessings Stormy in chat. Please hit the like button. We're short. That's right. We come up short with the likes around these parts. You know why? You know why? Ego, huh? The ego gets in the way. But that's okay. It's okay, man. Because as I said many times over and will continue to say, everybody ain't gonna make it, huh? They not gonna make it. Nah. And don't throw no safety ropes out there for them, huh? It's sink or sink, swim, and drown. Those are the options, huh? Yeah. Still got more people out there saluting one another. Let's see, Boxing and Barbecue is in the building saying, morning, Stormy. What's happening with you, Boxing and Barbecue? That's my brother there. We got to get together for some more dining dish. Yes, sir. We got to get together for some more. Who else we got out there? Ravens Nation in the building. What's happening with you, Ravens Nation? Antonio MMA, the #1 senior pupil, is out there. What's good with you? See, look at that. Kano got his chest all out there. You know, I told no lies, he says. But just wait, Kano. Just wait, you know. Because Stormy keeps those receipts too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah! Boxing and Barbecue says, you're going to have to hold off on that penny loafer nickname. No, I ain't. No, I ain't. When Stormy give you a nickname, it sticks. You dig? Now, see, that's what you're just trying to justify not hearing, huh? But see, even though he had victory last night, huh? Even though he had victory, that don't mean it don't stop, huh? In celebration. Right along. See, now when I play that, you can think about Counter Loco too. Huh? You could think about him as well. When I play that, Penny Loafer, don't you walk on by. Huh? Yeah. I'm going to play it. You understand? Wins and losses don't determine. No, not at all. I'm coming. Fool ass Earthman is out there. What's going on with you, man? Finally wrote in the chat, huh? You've been out there peeping through the blinds and bushes long enough. And I guess he said, I'll greet Stormy this morning. You see, I know who be here and who don't. You understand? I see you everywhere. Fool ass Earthman. Huh? Yeah, I see everybody, man. You don't get to be the sensei not knowing what they say, huh? And the lack of sense that may. Yeah.
Fool ass Earthman.
Yeah. That's right. So I be paying attention to y'all, man. I'm probably pay more attention to you than some of your favorites, huh? That you're always running up on everybody and giving them all your attention and everything. Yeah. Addy Meddy's out there. What's happening with you? You decide to step on out too. Yeah, I saw you out there last night. I saw you, huh? Deacon Dollars, look at that. He come in on a Sunday. Can you believe it? Deacon is halted the dollars to come in and commune with answering the bell this morning. It must be a glorious day, huh? Because we know how them deacons work on Sundays, huh? Passing them plates around, huh? Yeah! Deacon Dollars. Yeah, Snacks B is out there with us saying, Sensei Stormy B, man. Peace. Chat family. Yeah. Yeah, man. Y'all don't think hey, listen. I'm gonna keep that damn Penny Loafers meme. I like it. You understand? Plus his Lionel Richie. You understand? Yeah. Snacks be out there cracking up. Yeah, man. It's what we do, you know. When you come from the shy, you have to, you know, talk about people sometimes. It's just kind of, we do that. We talk about folks and then sit down and have a cold one with them. Y'all see that Sensei mug right there? Better get you one. It holds a nice temperature for your beverage, whether it's hot or cold. This is a very good mug here. And the design by myself, you know, yours truly. That's the Sensei Crescent. Get you one of them things. Shower says Crocs with socks. I'll let him ride with penny loafers. Yeah. Mr. Jannard Hill is in the building saying penny loafer is still an excellent name for boots because Boozy and Boots are out there talking like penny loafer salesmen saying they're not worried about Brian Norman Jr. And don't talk about Brian. Yeah, man. Listen. The whole thing with Norman, that's his rival, whether he wanted to be or not. Until that Russell boy goes up there and decides to campaign at 147 as well, huh? Yeah. Listen, you're always going to have rivals, man. You're always going to have rivals. I got rivals out here in the YouTube airwaves. The only thing is, they don't like to talk about me, huh? They don't want to mention me. Huh? Because they don't want me to grow, you know? They don't want their people to come over there and say, well, let's see what he's talking about this Stormy guy. Huh? And then you go over here and you find out like, oh, he might have a little boxing knowledge. I think I'll stay. Huh? That's what that's all about. But that's all right, because I get mine out of the mud. Huh? That's why I keep some antibacterial wash nearby, because I got to clean my hands. You understand? Some of them don't clean their hands. And you can smell it when you walk through that threshold of their channel. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. See that S up there? That's for Stormy, huh? Y'all can't get that one though. That's an exclusive. Yeah. Yeah. So, with no further ado, let me bring some things out into the open so we can begin to have a conversation, huh? Yeah. The call lines are open. Let's have a conversation on some boxing. Oh, and I almost forgot. For Kano Loco's sake, huh? Let me put the poster up, huh? Because he wanted everybody to know who came out on top last night, you know. Penny loafers. Yeah. Also, I put a special shout out to Chiquila Fields on my post page because I didn't see her Cash App donation during the show last night until after I closed out. And I didn't want to go without acknowledging Chiquila and her donation to the show, because people like Chiquila and Shower and EJ, you know, you all are staunch supporters. And if I ever miss, you just write it in the chat, you know, because sometimes I don't see the notification, you know, and if you write it in the chat as I read the chat, I'll say, oh, you know, same with the PayPal donations. For those of you who give a PayPal donation, you definitely have to write it in the chat. Check your PayPal, Stormy, because there's no alert for that. But yeah, I like to acknowledge whomever decides to send a donation or a tip. There's a tip link out there too, you guys. It's in the description box under Streamlabs. It says tip. If you ever want to give a tip to the channel, to the content or whatever, that's an option that's out there for you. I'm not pushing it. I'm just letting you know, because there are some people sometimes who may want to do something and are not certain of how to go about taking care of that. So it's just a simple reminder. That's all. No more, no less, no pressure, no press. Yeah! How about that? So, can we get some people? What the hell is this? Something on my desk. Test that line. Okay, that was me just double checking the line. The line is open and the line is active. So anybody want to call in and support the show with a conversation, feel free. The lines are open. To revisit what we experienced last night with the Unified Welterweight title challenge, it was Jerron Boots Ennis bringing his IBF and Ring Magazine titles to the bout against WBA title holder Imantas Stanionis. 12 rounds to unify these titles. And it started out with Boots boxing wonderfully and seemingly focused, and looked to establish himself with his athleticism, his ring, lateral movement, and generalship. Stanionis got off to a second position start and found himself trying to catch up to Boots, but he wasn't effective enough in body punching, cutting the ring off, and evading some of the punches that Boots was letting loose on him as far as body shots and shots up the middle. And we got a chance to see some exchanges between the two men, and it appeared that Boots was strong enough to take everything that Imantas was dishing out, but Imantas began to be broken down by the body work that Boots had put in. He put in tremendous body shots, going around the high guard to the body, the liver, the kidney, coming up the middle, and eventually in the 6th round he dropped Stanionis. I believe that might have been the first time in Stanionis' career that he hit the canvas. I'm not 100% certain on that though. And shortly thereafter, in between the 6th and 7th round, the corner of Stanionis elected to stop the fight. Stanionis didn't object to it. In fact, he looked quite dejected in his corner. I believe his confidence had gone bye-bye when he went down on his knees in that 6th round. So that let Boots become the unified welterweight champion of the world, lineal champion, and there's only 2 title belts left to acquire. However, the opponents that hold those belts, Brian Norman Jr. with the WBO and Mario Barrios with the WBC, those 2 men are not high on the list, looking like they want to be the next man up to take on Ennis. So Ennis may take the leverage that he has as a unified lineal champion up to 154 pounds and begin his campaign there, or he may look to close the year out by becoming undisputed, because if he fights 2 more times, it could be those 2 guys. And you know what? Sometimes you pay a little extra money or whatever just so you can get the credentials, because it'll look hell of a lot more better and have more leverage in bargaining to go up to 154 as the one champion from welterweight, the undisputed champion. So he may want to consider that. He may want to consider it. Salute to my brother Eric Jordan, EJ, out there with a Cash App donation. We're looking to open that up right now to see what my man had to say. My man EJ says, phenomenal fight, but ended too soon, unfortunately. No, I disagree with that, EJ. Because of the effectiveness of the body work that Ennis was putting in, that's what happens. Stanionis gave up too much of his body. There are ways to evade that. You know, you could take a step out, you could clinch. If you noticed during that fight last night, the only person clinching was Boots. And Boots was clinching when he wanted to stop Stanionis' assault or onslaught. If Stanionis had elected to do the same thing, to tie him up, stop those body shots and stuff like that. See, sometimes you could come across as appearing to be a guy who doesn't want to engage. But it's about slowing the other guy's momentum, not letting him get too much steam going. And Stanionis didn't stave that off from Boots, and that's why he was so effective and got the early results that he did. But thank you so much for your donation, my brother. We appreciate you and your support to the channel. Yeah. And to read Shaquila's donation from last night, she said, for the fire videos and the grind. Thank you so much, Chiquila, for your donation from last night as well. Yeah. Main biker has just jumped into the building. What's happening with your main biker? Yeah. So, like I said, guys, the lines are open. Feel free. Feel free. I already tested the waters, so we know that it's available. Tay-Tay, what's happening with you? Good morning to you as well. Shower, you still out there? If you're still out there, Shower, write something in the chat. I'm going to show you something. Kamara, the Stepping Razor, is in the building. Top of the morning to the sensei in the chat. Same to you, brother. Thank you for stepping in. Stepping in. She says, of course. Listen, Shower. Over 70 something views, 23 likes. You see that? You see that, Shower? 23 likes. So you mean to tell me over 50 something people don't endorse, but they're here? You see what I be saying? You see why I dropped out last night when I was saying what I was saying? Tell you, man. And the lines be open. If you want to call and say, hey, man, I think you're wrong about this. So I think, whatever. Isn't that, hey, express yourself. And I go through all the hassle for my production. You saw me play the advertisement for the other members of the community and everything, the commercials, the endorsements, right? You see that. It's almost like a real TV production type thing, really dumbed down from the perspective of how I work it, because I'm still learning how to do a lot of this stuff. I be making mistakes and everything, but it's genuine. You understand? That's why I don't understand for these Google and YouTube folks that accuse me of reuse content. I'm like, really? Explain to me what that means. What that means. Geo James Khalil, what's happening with you? I mean, some of you could call in and talk about, you know, how sweet Boots nuts taste, huh? Since you guys were so high on them and everything, you could just tell Stormy, you know, what I didn't see that y'all saw, huh? All of that kind of stuff. This is the opportunity. But I beg to differ. Ob Jones, what's happening? Salute to you. Kamara's in there. She says, good afternoon, driving and listening today. Peace and blessings to you in the chat. Thank you so much, Kamara. Appreciate you. Yeah. Let me give a little encouragement, huh? Just a little bit of encouragement. What kind of local at, man? Call in, man. Let's talk about your boy. Huh? See, you can't use that excuse now that it's late and you're getting ready to go to bed and all of that stuff. You was up bright and early. Huh? I was barely finished brushing my teeth and you was out there. Where you at? Now, see, if I was giving away some free fried chicken or something, then I couldn't keep my damn lines closed. Huh? Boxing and Barbecue is asking, what do you think about Montana Love coaching ability against Raymond Ford? It was horrible, because the first thing he should have told Ford was to comb his damn hair before he go out into the arena. F plus, huh? Why you gonna send that boy out there and his head look like buckwheat, huh? I talked about that yesterday too. A black man should not walk around with his head looking like that. And especially if you got few $100,000 to $1 million in the bank. Your head should not look like that. Comb your damn head, huh? F plus. That's what I think about his coaching ability. Because if you can't tell somebody to wash their ass, brush their teeth, and comb their damn head, you failed somebody in life. Yourself and them, huh? Horrible representation of coaching. I would never sit in a man's corner and send him out there with his head looking like that. Never. You ask me, you gonna get the real, huh? Yeah. How you gonna walk around with your head looking like a Brillo pad, huh? Yeah, it don't matter that he was in. Matisse's head was nappy too. If you heard me talking last night on the show, on the post fight, I said it. Both of them come out there. I wrote in BFTB's chat because he was calling the fight last night. Salute to BFTB. I said no combs were broken in preparation in the dressing room for this fight. That's what I said. And he said, he put it up on his screen. And he said, facts, Unc. Facts. You walking around the battle of the nappy heads. And then y'all had the nerve to get mad at Ryan Garcia's father for saying nappy heads. And then you come out looking like that and you prove the man that your head is nappy. I keep telling you, that's not my culture. You know what you are. You're not my culture. We are disconnected as can be. You understand? Umbilical cords cut. And the coaching that he did, as far as Matisse's performance, what did he throw? 25 punches in 10 rounds? Nah. I said last night that Matisse should never be allowed to fight on television again. The only time his fights should be put on TV is if people have trouble sleeping at night and you put him on late in the night and tell them, watch all the rounds of this. It's guaranteed to put you to sleep. Huh? Yeah. Or your money back. Yeah. Rich Richardson, what's happening with you? He says, unfortunately, Stormy, that's everyday today's youth. Well, the parents are bad then, Rich Richardson. So that's who I'm talking about. The ones who let them. I would never let my child go out of the house like that or adapt the mindset to be wanting to go out of the house like that. So poor parenting is contributing to this, and it's those same ignorant people that I've been talking about who will come out here and be watching me, can't hit the like button, can't come to the chat and show support, can't even call in and show support of, keeping boxing conversation going over the airwaves, but they sitting out there, huh? like raccoons do when they're trying to gather up. When one of them done told the other one, hey, there's some food over there. Yeah. Okay, we got 951 calling. Who's calling? Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
What's going on, Sensei? DJ.
I'm sorry, I had to cut the music. Who is it?
EJ.
EJ, what's happening, man? How you doing?
Oh, going good.
Yes, sir.
Going good.
Well, welcome to the show, man. Welcome.
Yep. I did see. I only got to see was the the Blue Bandits versus I forgot to say his last name. Oh yeah, I only got to see the Blue Bandits fight. But I mean, even though it was only 6 rounds, but I mean it was decent. It wasn't a terrible fight, but I was hoping it was gonna go like a little longer, but I guess I can understand the call pretty much for the Sturgis coaches.
Yeah.
In the fight.
Yeah, and
what was it because of the nosebleed? I was
no. You know, he got knocked down just before the end of the 6th round.
Yeah,
and so when he got up, he beat the count. He got up. Excuse me. And then he went to the corner. And as he sat down on the corner, not even listening to what the corner men were saying to him, I was looking at his expression and his body language, and he looked like he was done. He looked like, I gave it the old college try, and I don't really want to go out. And they asked him, they say, you want to continue? And he really didn't respond, which means like, no, stop it for me, and that's what they did. But
he wasn't cohesive enough.
What's that?
He wasn't cohesive enough.
Well, the thing about it is that I had spoken about his trainer, the Filipino guy that used to work with Freddie Roach. I don't know his name. Don't really care about his name. But I never thought much of his coaching to begin with, because that was a fight that Stanionis would have required some specific instructions to get to who he was dealing with. He has fought other guys in the past that it didn't require a lot of coaching to get him through this.
Yeah.
But in this instance, the coaching is what would have assisted with him being either able to go the distance or, lo and behold, try to pull out a victory. Because the fight needed to be about adjustments, and believedly so, Stanionis made no adjustments in 6 rounds. He may have closed a couple of rounds and made them close, but he never did any adjustments to take Boots out of the rhythm or the success of what he was doing. See, I've always maintained this about boxing. When you have a fighter, I'm getting reverb here. What you do? You just changed something there, EJ.
What did I change?
I'm hearing myself now through your phone or whatever.
What? I don't know.
Okay. Okay, it stopped. When I was talking just a moment ago, I started hearing it. But anyway, what I wanted to say is, when a fighter is being successful, it is up to the other fighter to do something to offset that success. That's called the adjustment. But once the adjustment takes place, the initial person who was having success has to be able to have something else to revert to so that they can offset the adjustment. And that's when the fight begins. Well, we never saw that last night.
I agree.
We never saw that. See, I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. Tommy Hearns and Sugar Ray Leonard, first fight. In that first fight, Hearns came out and he was having success outboxing Leonard.
Yeah.
Leonard could not outbox Hearn, even though he was a good boxer. Hearn was a better technical boxer, a better guy. He had better jab, better movement, better ring generalship. Leonard was fast. He could get to guys and overwhelm them with his hand speed and foot speed. He couldn't do that to Tommy because Tommy was dictating everything from behind his jab. Okay?
Yeah.
So Leonard had to turn it into a fight. That was his adjustment. Let me just take it to him and try to brawl with him. And that offset what Tommy was doing. And by the time Tommy realized what Leonard was doing, Leonard had too much momentum going for what he did. Yeah. So Tommy wasn't able to adjust to Leonard's adjustment and ended up succumbing to that. You see, you can't just let it go one way for 10, 12, 15 rounds. You can't do that. You're going to lose. You got to do something different. And see, that's what Stanionis didn't do. Plus, he was taking punishment to the body.
Yeah.
So a better quality coach, maybe if it was even Freddie Roach in his corner, maybe it could have been something. You give him a couple of instructions to do a couple of things. Like, I noticed that when he did use his jab, it was effective. Even telling him to throw more jabs, it would have offset the jab that Boots was using. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Ali was a great jabber. But when he fought Ken Norton would stick his arm out or stick his own jab out and jab with Ali at the same time, disrupting Ali's rhythm. And so Ali wouldn't jab as much because he didn't like Norton's awkwardness of doing something when he did something. So it made Ali change what Ali wanted to do. And now Norton is in the fight. And that was the toughest opponent of Ali's career, Ken Norton. In 3 fights, he never definitively defeated Ken Norton because Ken Norton was well trained by Eddie Futch, who told him exactly what to do against the talent that Ali had. That's coaching. Norton would not have been able to do that and have that success without Eddie Futch preparing him to do these things. So what was Stanionis' coach helping him with last night?
Not really anything.
Thank you.
The jab or...
Yeah. So this is why you saw the kind of fight that you saw, and it ended like it ended. The smartest thing he did was stop the fight early enough where Stanionis didn't get beat up too badly, and he can come back in another fight not having too much taken out of him.
Yeah.
Because
there's going to be a rematch for that one? For that, Usain versus Stanionis?
There's no need for a rematch. He showed his superiority in that fight. And like you just heard me say, the man made no adjustments, so he never closed the gap. He was going downhill when they stopped the fight. The only thing they stopped was him getting beaten and stopped.
I agree.
So why would there be a rematch?
I I guess he wanted to reprove himself.
He had one time to do that last night, and he couldn't do it.
That's true.
No, seriously, when you see these guys and they lose, and someone is talking about, like, oh, well, you know, if you give me another chance, you had your chance. You had your chance, and you threw your chance in the toilet.
I agree with that.
I told you I'm very definitive about these things, very realistic about it. Boots was doing well, and he didn't have to change what he was doing because everything he was doing was working. But you have to have the wherewithal in the other corner to be like, you know what? It ain't working for us. I'll give you an example of another fight. Marvin Hagler and Tommy Hearns. They came out, first bell. Hagler tried to go right upside Hearns' head. Hearns started, you know, fighting back or whatever. But Hearns hit Hagler with a shot. It opened up a cut right between his eyes, right over his forehead, right between his eyebrow. And it was bleeding bad. When he got hit with that shot, Tommy broke his hand at the same time.
Oh, dang.
Hagler got close to Hearns and said, I can't be on the outside. Because if I'm on the outside, he'll freaking knock me out like he's knocked out all these other guys. So Hagler closed the distance between he and Hearns and turned it into a fight, not a boxing match. Because he was not going to outbox Tommy Hearns, just like Leonard couldn't outbox him. Now, the difference between Leonard attacking Hearns and Hagler attacking Hearns is that Hagler had more physicality behind his attack and the strength, and also the ability to fight on the inside where Tommy's long reach wasn't advantageous whatsoever.
Okay, that makes sense.
He took the fight away from Hearns by doing that. And by doing that, he took the fight away from Hearns, and Hearns was out of there because they had no other answers. They had no other answers. And that's what can happen. Now, I'll tell you something. You didn't see Stanionis go for broke against Boots, did you? You didn't see him go on inside and just start, letting loose a volley of shots, did you? No, you didn't see that.
Only in the fifth round, really. That was it. That was the only round.
No, he threw a few shots in that round, but he didn't go for broke. Going for broke is something different than just increasing your punch output. See, because I'm going to tell you something. You can either get beat up over a distance of rounds or get knocked out within a couple of rounds. Which is better?
It's impressive.
No!
So?
No, rolling the dice to go after a guy to try to get him up out of there, if that's the kind of fighter you are. You don't wait. Boots had already put 3 or 4 rounds in the bank. Okay, it's time to do something different. You understand?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's what he was supposed to do. He didn't. And he let this man continue to punch on him and beat on his body and everything till his legs gave. And when his legs gave, that's when you saw him go down in that 6th round. He took a lot of body shots. You saw what body shots did when you saw what body shots did when Ajit Cabiel fought Zhang. He just kept pounding on Zhang's body. Zhang went down and took a knee, and when the ref was counting, Zhang looked at the ref and said to him in Chinese, "What the hell you counting for? I ain't getting up until the lights get turned out in this joint."
Yeah. They like out there.
You see, I'm telling you, this is what it is. Even in the fight with AJ and Dubois, Ben Davison told AJ it's time to roll the dice. Go out there and try to get him. Only thing about that was bad advice, because AJ had been down on the canvas several times already. What he was supposed to tell AJ is, look, we got to get back to you establishing your jab. Reestablish your jab. Jab him from the outside. If he gets close, tie him up. I don't care if the ref is warning you for holding. Tie his ass up. Make him tired from wrestling out of your grasp, because when you tie him up with strength, and you lean on him and you pull on him to make the ref have to make an effort to break you guys. You do that for a couple of rounds, you take away some of the rambunctious activity of Dubois, and now he's a little depleted. Your head is starting to get clear from being dazed and down a couple of times. Now the fight changes. Do you understand? It's not astrophonomics or whatever. This is like real stuff that I'm sharing with you here. And this kind of thing, this is how you know these coaches don't know what the hell they're doing, bro.
I agree.
They don't. And speaking of coaches, salute to Coach Hudson out there in the chat. I see you out there, brother. Thank you for showing up.
Yep.
Michael Ray II out there saying salute Stormy in chat, listening while driving. What's good with you? Yeah. But I'm telling you, I'm glad that Boots prevailed, because now he's beaten a guy that many of the consensus, including myself, was like, okay, he hasn't beaten a guy like that. That's a good thing. Yeah. A great stepping stone, but there's still work to do. There's still work to get done. You know, I am not ready to celebrate him, because he's got a lot of fights under his belt, but not a lot of fights of like what he went into last night, where on paper the chance of being victorious is slimmer than all the others. You know what I mean? Most of everybody else he fought, it was like, yeah, it's just a matter of what round he gonna beat this guy. We didn't know. We didn't know that Stanionis was just gonna continue to let the guy pound on his body like that. Because I'm sitting there watching it, and it's action packed to a minimum degree, but he's getting it all his own way, and there was no adjustment. So I'm like, okay. So when the end came, unfortunately for me, I was like, oh well, but it happens. That's why there's a thing called ring IQ and ring generalship. And if you ask from the Stanionis camp, they showed and displayed absolutely none. I'll take that back. He did display one ring generalship quality. He was keeping his front lead foot, Stanionis, his left front lead foot on the outside of Boots' southpaw right foot. He was doing that very well. But other aspects of his game, he was not doing well, and he didn't make adjustments.
Yeah, I was hoping he was going to, like when you hear him Boots like a few times in left jab, I think it was, I thought he was going to continue on a little bit more, but that probably somewhat stopped this with one punch.
Right. Yeah.
And I think they can maybe do like, you know, a 1-2 a few more times. Because, I mean, he did catch me a few times, so that's why I was like, oh, yeah. But he didn't continue undoing it.
But, I mean, did you see those jabs that Stanionis was landing? It was like snapping his head back.
Yeah.
Okay. That lets you know when he was jabbing, he had the timing and the distance down to do so. Ask me why, Stormy, did he not double and triple up on those jabs at any point during the fight?
Hey, I guess he might have been intimidated. That's what I'm guessing to.
If you can jab a fighter enough to snap his head back like this, you are in punching range to do something else to him.
Okay.
It's considered like punching through the target. Do you understand?
Yeah.
He never doubled and tripled up on those shots. He never followed those shots up with combinations. He was content with, oh, I got him good that time.
Yeah, that was my issue with it. With that part of the fight.
Listen, man, I keep telling you, but it's the coach that's supposed to remind you of these things.
Yeah, and the coach did not remind him at all.
Yeah, but like Shawa said, yeah, that's what I kept saying last night. I think it's because he was afraid of the body work that was coming back. The body work was coming back because there was nothing behind the single punches. He's not going to punch you while you punching him. He's going to see if you finished. If you finished, then he going to get his off. But if I'm landing 2, 3, 4, following up with more, that's what it's about. I can't just boom and think that you're going to quit because I hit you with a good jab.
That's true. That is true. I know basically you get hit in the body is a different type of effect than getting hit in the face you get knocked out.
Well, it's the sustained body attack, brother. He was getting hit for like 4 or 5 rounds with those shots. It was just like when Zhilei Zhang got knocked out by Cabiel. I just gave the example. It's like Zhang knocked Cabiel down. He got up and went right back to working that damn body. And when Zhang took the knee, he was done. You could see him huffing and puffing, and like the body work was just doing him in. And Cabiel didn't look at him and say, "You okay?" No, he was like, "You ready to go? Let me give you some more."
Right back to work. Right back to work. Yeah, exactly.
It's a fight, bro. In other words, you can't save something for later if this is your chance to do something in the now.
I agree.
But see, that requires coaching from the corner. He was in shape.
Yeah. He was in phenomenal shape.
Both of them were. And that's the difference. Boots didn't get hit to the body a lot. He took a couple of good body shots, but not in the numerous volume that he put on. If Stanionis had banged his body like that, that would have been Boots taking a knee and going down. Because a fighter just can't sustain being hit in the body like that.
Yeah, I agree. So that basically only lasts 6 rounds.
Yeah.
So basically, your body work and on point. The thing gets hit, and you're going to be falling real quick.
What I notice about the fighters of today is that they're so incomplete, man. They are so incomplete. I don't see guys pulling out victories from the jaws of defeat. You see fights going one way, regardless of who the winner is. You don't see guys coming back from damn near being knocked out. There was one fight that we had something like that, and it was ironically the guy on the undercard, Raymond Ford, when he fought that guy Oktebek. Oktebek was a tough fighter, but he wore Oktebek down late in that fight, and then he stopped him in the last round with like 10 or 15 seconds to go in the fight. He stopped him. Oh, and there was the fight that Oshaki Foster fought, that Mexican guy that he fought before he fought Consequao the first time over in Mexico. Oshaki was fighting that guy. That guy had never been past 6 or 7 rounds. and he wore the guy out. He got tired, and then Oshaki got him out of there late in the fight. But it was a close fight, back and forth, until the guy ran out of gas and Osaki poured it on and pulled the fight out. See, that's the difference. When you have a guy that can do things like that, come from behind. When Big Baby Miller lost to Dubois was winning early. Then he kind of got a little tired, but Big Baby was tired because of the work he had been putting in. So when Dubois got his second win, he started stepping it up, and Miller started deteriorating. And I was yelling at my TV, he's getting ready to go after him, Daniel, get him. And then he stepped it up and he stopped Big Baby. You know, the thing is, when you have a fighter that is only going one way and then it comes to an end, the fighter who prevails in that situation, he thinks that's what it takes to win. But sometimes you have to make the adjustments where you could get you a rest in between rounds, so you'll have something for later or whatever. If the opportunity presents itself, you go get the guy. But you don't just keep going like what Stanionis was stating going into this fight, being all gas with no brakes, because you're soon to crash out under those auspices. So it's like, that's a silly sentiment to have.
I agree. I showed you his results on Saturday. Makes me mad again.
Yeah.
And after 7 minutes of fight, like, nah. Oh, yeah, I guess it was a good call for the coaches to just end the fight. So it was injured. But I let some other people get on if they're not scared to have a conversation.
Yeah, man. I don't know what it is, man. The fear factor is a mother, man, because we got over 100 and something people that have been in here watching this show today, and I only got 38 likes. Really?
Yeah, right there.
That's brutal. You understand? But I know who those people are. I know who they are. And it's their shortcomings, not mine. Because I ain't going to stop doing what I do. And they ain't going to stop coming to listen either. But it just shows you how stupid people can be. Stupid is the word. Huh?
Yep, that's a fact.
I'm never going to be anywhere where I don't like to be, where I don't like it, and I disagree with it and all of that. I don't support it, but they hear. Why? It's the same as those individuals. If you're driving in traffic and there's been a crash and you look over and you see the crash, but you just get on around it because the medical techs got to get to the accident scene and everything. But no, you got some people that got to slow down and look and survey the damage and everything like they're insurance adjusters or something. Go on through the damn traffic so people can get on beyond this stuff. Where you standing up stopping, you ain't gonna get out and help. You ain't gonna, but you sitting there slowing down. You're trying to survey the damage. Man, that makes me so upset.
I agree with that 100%.
It's crazy, man.
Give me laughing at times.
But hey, man, I appreciate you supporting the show like you do, supporting the channel like you do. You know, you're always looking out for me, man, and I really appreciate you for that, brother.
I learned so much, man. Like, for real, it's refreshing, to learn, the phenomenal wisdom that you be giving, Sensei, for real. So, I have no problem with it at all.
Yeah.
But always somebody else will call up instead of just being so scared.
Yeah, you know how it is. All right, man. I appreciate you. Okay.
All right.
Peace.
All right, y'all.
All right. That's the brother EJ calling in to show a little support for the show. That's what's up. Akil Vibes, what's good with you? I see you out there. He says they're here to steal, Sensei. You know, my stuff is it's nailed down, Akil Vibes. You can't steal that, huh? You can't steal it. See, pearls are found in the depths of the ocean. They're not found floating on top of the water. Huh? So in order to even achieve something here, you gotta go deep with Stormybman. You're not gonna get it off the surface. You might think you can, but that's not the way that works. Pearls are hidden jewels. Huh? Hidden. Diamonds are produced under pressure. The coals that you find them from, pressurized to produce the sparkle, huh? The luster. That's the difference. Mahari Nation Sports Podcast, what's good with you? I see you out there. Chilltown Majors. Yep. Darius Gilliard, that's how you know with what I'm saying has a fact base to it. It's not just me talking. I always challenge people to test what I'm saying. Do your research and you'll find that I am not far from where the truth be found at all. At all. Yeah. So that line is open. You can still call in. Darius Gilliard, why don't you call in, brother? You seem to have a lot to say out there. Let's talk about it. Conversation rules the nation. Shamar Rashawn Shalom says, Ray Ford looked fast last night, Sensei. He looked pretty nappy-headed to me. I couldn't get past that. I couldn't get past it, man. All I saw was buckwheat. Huh? And how could he ever walk out of the house with his head looking like that? Some people may say, hey, what? Why you were so concerned about his hair? Why isn't he concerned about his damn hair? Why don't he just cut it off? You too lazy to comb it, huh? Shave that shit off. I'm a child of the 70s, man. We had afros, we had blowout kits, we had butter whips, we had all kind of processes and everything. Ain't nobody that fought head looked like that. Darius Gillard, that ain't no damn excuse. In between core workouts, huh? You call in, you gonna work out your brain, huh? That's what's missing, huh? You can build muscles on your body any damn time, but you can't build muscles on the mind every damn time, because this is what you guys shun away from. I keep telling you guys that. I keep telling you. You build your mind up, the body don't have no place to go but to follow, huh? Yeah. Work out that brain. Yeah. Yep. If this was muscle and fitness, you still wouldn't call. Okay, we got 651 in the building. Is that my man Abel Mahari?
You know who this is. How you doing, Stormybman, Mr. Sensei? How's it going this morning, sir?
It's going very well, man. It's going very well. It's just that, you know, people get a little touched and don't want to call. You know, they rather sit out there and just be watching. It's like, you know, when you ever was in school and the teacher put a problem on the board and she called on somebody and say, hey, who can solve this? And everybody put their hands in their pockets. You know, nobody want to raise their hand up, and I hope she don't call me. Hope they don't call me, you know. And that's what it's like.
Well, I'll tell you what. Though. I think they're afraid of getting that F plus. You know what I mean? From you. They're like, F plus, go in the room and go learn something. F plus. F plus when you get in. When you show me you can learn something, I'll raise your grade up. Till then, F plus.
No, man, that's not how it works. And see, even in having, you know, that kind of thought approach to it, because Do you know that to participate is being active, is being proactive, is being a part of the scene, is being a part of life? To not participate means that you're a non-factor of your own making. You're a non-factor, a non-participant. You don't matter. Why should you factor? You know, that kind of thing. People don't understand how that works. And they don't teach you that when you're young. So then when you do it as an adult, sometimes you find yourself on the receiving end of feelings and emotions of things like depression, or you feel down or left out or something like that. That's because you were never told that it's okay to involve yourself, invoke yourself, to speak up, even if you're wrong, to be excited about being corrected so you will have correct information going forward. See, that's what's wrong with society. And when you have less of that type of teaching, what happens is people make excuses for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And when you make excuses for yourselves, you can't figure out ways to find resolution, correction, how to benefit, to overcome and get beyond. I try to help as much as I can from this vantage point, but I can only do so much. Like I said, there's almost 140 people watching this show this morning, but I only have 46 likes. You tell me, what type of sense do those numbers make? It doesn't make sense at all, because I wouldn't be invested in something that doesn't benefit me. You understand?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The sad part is, Stormy, it's more than just that, too. Most people are afraid to just, try something. You know? And even if you did not get it done the first time, the ability to learn from it, assess from it, and then basically go back and try again. One thing that I remember what Magic Johnson said to Isaiah Thomas when they did their NBA TV interview. Magic Johnson said, end quote, "Self-reflection is the hardest thing for any person to do because they're afraid to check their strengths and weaknesses."
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because the thing is, people are afraid to look themselves in the mirror and realize, have I gotten the best out of myself? Have I gotten, more out of myself? And can I push myself a little bit more than what I have now? And there's a thing called complacency. People are more comfortable being complacent than to push further to see the fruits of their labor.
Right. Yeah, I agree, man.
Mm-hmm.
And we see this every day. We see it every day in all facets of life. And it's very unfortunate because, again, what I'm saying is from the vantage point of trying to elevate. I'm not here to put nobody down or smash them. I'm here to help build you up. In different ways, of course. It's like we talking about the sport of boxing, but we could be talking about elements and aspects of real life as well. There is something to be gained through this entire process. But if you're going to shortchange yourself by not being a willing participant, not being someone that can be conducive to what's going on or to add and contribute to what's going on, hey, why are you here? I asked that question on why are you here? I'm not saying that I don't want you here, but I'm saying, can you define what it is that you're doing? Mm-hmm. You ever seen someone out on the street and they be standing and looking up in the air? And people will walk past and look at that person looking up in the air. Then they'll look up in the air too. Like, what is he looking at? And then you might get several people all doing the same damn thing. Just from someone standing looking up in the air. But you know what my thought process is about the person that's looking up in the air? Oh, he's looking up in the air. Let me walk past him. Now, if he says, hey, look at that, then that means he's involving me to participate with what he's doing. You see what I'm saying? It's different. So here on this platform, I'm looking up in the air, but I'm telling you all, hey, check this out. Look at what I'm seeing. But I got people walking right past. You see the difference?
Yep.
But anyway, go ahead, bro. What's your call? What you want to talk about?
I was actually going to talk about my thoughts on the Stanionis and the Boots Ennis fight because I've been seeing a lot of people basically flipping the script saying, man, Boots is actually more talented than I thought he was. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just sitting there like, and then I read, and you know, what really motivated me to call you, Stormy, when I was listening to 78's, you know, post-fight, you know, live stream the other night. And when he was confronting people that said like, man, Boots gets hit a lot, man. You know, I don't think Boots ain't the goods though, man. Even though I saw, the one thing I saw from the fight was that Boots was doing a great job using the ability of his defense and slipping and sliding and avoiding a lot of Stanionis' punches. But even though Stanionis was able to hit some, it wasn't hurting Boots and the people thought it was. And Boots was the one that was hurting Stanionis so much to the point where they had no choice but to stop the fight because he was getting pummeled. And my issue here is that what do you guys see? What do you see that makes you think that Boots is going to get hurt? Because the last time I checked, boxing is it's the hurt business. You're going to get hit. And I put a super chat in there when I said, hey, listen up, guys. Boxing is a physical sport. It doesn't matter if you're a flashy fighter, you're a defensive fighter, or a boxer, puncher type of style. You are going to get hit. But it just feels like it's one ear in and one ear out the other. And it's just like, you guys, are you understanding what boxing is? Even the greatest of all time have gotten hit, like the Floyd Mayweathers, the Sugar Ray Leonards, the Sugar Ray Robinson, Muhammad Ali. Even your favorite fighter, Evander Holyfield, has gotten hit many times. But it's just like, you guys are watching something that is just like unrealistic. Like Jerron Boots Ennis is not going to be those type of fighters. He has his own style. And sometimes he'll get tagged up sometimes, but he's very durable. That you should credit him for his durability, for his ability to take a decent, good punch and still be able to basically use his counter punching and this combination punching to beat up his opponents. I'm just shaking my head to the realization that people are just like, they can't seem to gauge Boots Ennis' style. That's what I feel at this point. What do you think?
Well, I think the majority of the boxing public are now focused in on what they like or what they don't like, who they like and who they don't like, more than what they see or what the experience, the real-time experience may happen to be. Boots took shots yesterday that hurt and could have hurt him more, but Stanionis didn't do the things or couldn't do the things that needed to be done to follow up and take advantage. I kind of spoke of that a little bit during the last call with EJ. And by the way, salute to EJ with another Cash App donation. He says, Boots is still penny loafers in my books. But thank you for that donation, brother. I don't believe that enough of the boxing public is educated to know how to assess quality boxing. Part of that is due to the presentation of the sport. We see a lot of fighters, until Turki Al-Sheikh has come along doing what he does with his promotions with Riyadh season events. A lot of fighters are fighting fights where they are, on paper, it's like 80-20 that they win. And typically, when you have guys fighting under those type of circumstances, the outcome is usually a foregone conclusion. But then even when you have guys that are in closer matches, and that last night was supposed to be a closer match, the reason that it was considered closer and more viable is because of the quality of boxing that Stanionis brought to the table. Olympic experience, professional experience, have been in a couple of dog fights, and Boots has had a much more of a easier go. But that easier go that he has been benefited from the standpoint of his athleticism and his natural boxing talents and gifts that he has, that it kind of stands out in opposition of who he faces. We haven't seen him in a dog fight, so it's like you wonder and question, does he have what it takes? You haven't seen him get hit, hurt, dropped. Can he come back from something like that? So it's like there's a one side versus another side in the consideration of him altogether and overall. But like I said, even though I had picked Stanionis to be more successful, if not be victorious in last night's fight, I give him the credit for having turned back that type of challenge that I needed to see him have. You see, it wasn't that I was hating on him or wishing that he lose. I have to see something before just anointing. I've seen too many fighters come down the pipeline in history that have had an anointing and never panned out to what was supposed to be considered potential. It's like things derail guys, like they find women in their lives and get derailed. They find drugs and material things in their lives and they get distracted. Or they even will find someone who has a greater desire than they have to be victorious, and they fail in that aspect. So to put it all together, I think that people typically will err on the side of caution more than they will on the side of being fearless, because they just want to be protective of what they are familiar with, you know. But I've seen fighters like Boots before. I've seen them. Some of you may not have, but I have. And the funny thing is like, until he faces those type of challenges where he check marks each box, then there's still going to be questions on the table. You know, I question whether or not, if he's fighting a guy that has real strength and power and ability, if he'll be able to maintain the same. You know, right now he's kind of like you remember in school, sometimes they had a guy who might have been left back a couple of grades or whatever, so he's a little bit older than the regular 8th graders or 7th graders, and he might be a little bigger and stuff, got a little hair starting to grow on his face, and you know, he's like, man, that dude ain't really a 7th grader. He's really like a 9th grader. You know what I'm saying? You're looking at it, right? And that's kind of like what you're seeing with Boots, because the rest of those guys in that division, they are not like really where he is. But if he moves up to 154, all of that is going to change. And he's going to be fighting guys his size and bigger. You understand? And then that's when you're going to see the real tests. It's unfortunate that he came a few years behind Errol and Bud and those guys, because they were talented enough to test his mettle. But you can't cry over spilled milk. They've moved on. Right. He should move on. And he should move on and look to challenge himself against what's available for him to challenge himself against.
Mm-hmm. You see that's the thing. I wish he would have came in a little earlier during the peak of both Spence and Crawford. Then we would have really had an opportunity to see where he gauged at. Now, I do agree with you that, you know, we need to see more out of Boots in it. I'm just making the point that, you know, not your assessment, because you're 100% correct. But I'm saying for all the people that are saying, like, I don't know if Bruce ain't good yet. You know, I think he's a little bit overrated. I'm like, God dang, what does he have to prove, bro? You know what I mean? That's where I'm coming from. But your assessment is 100% correct, because until he moves up to 154, or let's say in the future 160, we haven't really seen, you know, what his mettle is yet. And I think he has it, but we just need to see more of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, again, if he just keeps challenging himself, those boxes will get checked off as well. Because I think that a great fight for him, if he moves up to 154, is to fight someone like Erickson Lubin. That would be good. You know what I mean? Not so much because, oh, it's Lubin and it's Boots, but it's like someone who knows what it's like to be in there, be on the cusp, have had a setback, and looking to reprove himself. That's Lubin. Boots is that guy that has arrived to the party and can't wait to show everybody he could dance. You understand? But the thing about it is, when you've been held from being able to be a part of the party, you be chomping at the bit. Man, wait till they give me my chance. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to turn this joint out. You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. But that's what you should want from fighters. You should always want that from fighters.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Right. Would a fight with Brian Norman Jr. probably set the table for that, or do you think he's going to have to go up higher for that?
Brian Norman Jr. could possibly do that, but this is the funny thing about that. There's something going on with those two camps. I don't think they're going to fight each other. And whatever the truth may be, it's somewhere in between. One side says this, the other side says that. But typically, I'm used to guys stepping up to the table saying, I want that guy, and that guy saying, I want him too. Let's make it happen. These guys of today don't do that. This is why Turki Al-Sheikh and what he's doing is important, because he's putting the fights together regardless, right? And the money is not the factor. But when guys still don't want to do it under Turki Al-Sheikh, that's telling you that those guys don't want those fights. That's what it's saying at the end of the day. And I can't respect you. You can be the most talented guy in the world. But if you don't want to get out there and display your wares, I can't call you the most talented in the world. I could just say you're one of the best, but you're not the best. You've done nothing to show me you're the best. Why should I anoint you for something that you haven't done? There's a reason that mom used to say, you no cake until after dinner. You got to eat your dinner first. Well, why, Mom? Well, the cake is going to ruin your appetite. No, it's not. I can still eat my dinner. And the one time they ever let you have your way, and you be like, oh, I got a stomach ache. Or oh, I can't eat because, because I told you this is what's going to happen. See, you're supposed to be able to rely upon them and adhere to the wisdom of the situation, not the desire for the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Salute to my brother KP from KC in the Cash App. He says, keep going, Sensei. Thank you so much, brother. Appreciate your donation for the show and the channel, man. Thank you so much, KP from KC. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, bro. I hope that they can find a way to make that fight, but I'm just going to be an observer. I'm just going to wait and see what the information comes out. But as far as the topic is concerned, I think Boots did a really good job last night, and he showed his valor in the fight. I hope that he does take the opportunity to go up to 154, because I would love for him to see what he can do against those bigger fighters at that weight class, and then in the future go up to 160, because I think that's his real weight class, in my opinion, is 160. But we'll see how that turns out.
Yeah, we'll see. I just don't see him being this super fighter that a lot of people are seeing. He's good, but he's not a super fighter.
Right.
Super fighters, man, they go out there, they face their challenges and whatnot, and they just make it look like it's not so much that they make it look easy, but they look like they really enjoy and engage in their work. It's like, you know, like when you watch Marvin Hagler fight, you knew he was a super fighter, but you knew he was a super fighter according to how he went about his business. You know, it's like that's to be respected and commended. When you have these other guys who they want you to think of them as super, and they think that if they do something to excite the crowd or whatever, like last night, Boots, in the midst of the fight, he's looking around, he's mocking and playing to the crowd and stuff like that. And Stanionis kind of let him get away with some of that stuff. But there were fighters in the past that wouldn't let a guy do that kind of stuff. I remember the tale of Anthony Hendrick facing Booker T. Ward. If you don't know that story, go look up that fight on YouTube. Anthony Hendrick, former Olympian, and Booker T. Ward, light heavyweights. When they faced each other on Tuesday night fights, Anthony Hendrick came to the ring. You know, he missed his gold medal opportunity and everything in the Olympics because he says he overslept and missed the bus to the facility and everything. So he didn't get a chance to fight for the gold and everything. Even as he turned pro, he was a clown. He used to come out there and do dances and celebrate. He had these lavish ring entrances and stuff. And on the night that he faced Booker T. Ward, he came out and he had a whole Temptations-like dance routine set up in the corner between him and his corner man, high-fiving and doing the boogaloo and all of that stuff. And he goes out there and he gets knocked out in the first round by Booker T. Ward. Go watch it for yourself.
Okay.
It was one of the most hilarious moments of boxing that I had ever seen. And I was like, oh, and that was the end of him. Because he looked like a fool. He behaved like a fool. And he got treated just like a damn fool. Yeah. And that's what was supposed to happen. So these kind of things, you know, and I see it all the time. It's just like, you know, I keep saying something about it because it's important that I do. Ray Ford showing up with his hair looking like steel wool. You understand? What the hell was that? Dude, comb your damn hair. You got hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not $1 million in the bank. Comb your damn hair, brother. Don't go out there looking like that. No, there was a time in our society when black people were made to look like that against their will. And he's voluntarily going out there like that? You're a disgrace. Comb your hair.
You said the same thing last night in your post-fight show, and I was literally like that laughing. But no, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Man, I'm telling you, it's like, it's ridiculous, bro. It's ridiculous watching all of this stuff, man. It's foolishness. Let me get to this other cash app here. We got Shower out there in the cash app. She says, words of wisdom. Hope people are really listening. Thank you so much, Shower. We appreciate your support as well for the show. Thank you so much. You know. But yeah, I can't see, for me to not say something would be going against my own nature as a human being. I have to say something.
Right.
I would not send my son or my daughter outside to be looking like that. I wouldn't. So where are his parents?
Sure.
Where's his friends? Where's his real coach? Because even as a coach, I would tell him, man, comb your hair. Seriously. Comb your hair. It ain't got nothing to do with my boxing. It got everything to do with your boxing. Because the way you feel, The way you feel about your appearance is how you feel about what you do. You're laxed in both categories.
Right.
And he was laxed in fighting last night. He looked good only because Matisse refused to look good himself. Matisse gave a non-effort. I said after the fight was over, I hope he never gets an opportunity to fight on television again. He probably threw 25 punches in 10 rounds. He did not try to win that fight from Ford. He did not try to engage Ford. He just showed up. But when he showed up, everybody should have smelled butt crack because all he did was show his ass.
Yep. Or he just showed up just to get paid. Or even worse than that Ford guy. How about you just go to the barber and get a fade or something, or even get some clean cornrows and get that hairline fixed. Something.
I would have rather he come with braids and cornrows in his head than to come out there looking like that.
Right. You know what I mean? Because when I play basketball, I always make sure to keep my hair short, or even worse yet, if I have to go to the barber, just give me a simple buzz fade. I don't need nothing else, because I like to be clean and I like to look clean. Let people know I'm a clean, straight, holy Christian person. Cause I ain't got no time to, grow my hair out and look like a greased up fool. I can't go with that.
Yeah.
And also for Supreme Matias, hey, for all the fans out there that thought that this guy was good, that he could beat Devin Haney, yeah, you may need to shut up and put that argument to rest and keep it 6 feet underneath the grade, because it was embarrassing.
See, that's another thing. We have too many people that won't hold people to a standard. If you can't hold someone to a standard, how can you complain about quality?
Exactly.
Seriously, you walk into a establishment. Let's just say it's a fast food chain. I ain't gonna say any in particular, but you walk in and everybody that's working behind the counter, got dreadlocks and braids and everything and tattoos all over their body and everything. And when you walk up to the cashier to place an order, they look at you and they go, "How can I help you?" Not a damn thing. Right. Let me walk the hell up out of here. It's like you making this feel like I'm doing you a favor up in here or something, or I'm disturbing you or something, or I'm kind of interrupting something here. And you gonna be messing with my food too? No. Think about it. And the fact that you go ahead and reach in your wallet and pull your cash out to pay for that, and then you want to complain because you say, "Man, I ate that stuff from that place last night and I got sick as a dog. I'm going back with my receipt. I'm gonna." Yeah, you went through the process. You didn't have to. You couldn't access the damage that was already in that environment when you walked in. You should have been able to walk in, feel that energy, look around and say, "Something don't seem right. Let me go somewhere else." Yeah.
Yep. And that's the good old saying is, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That is what it is, man. Hey, Stormybman, man, I appreciate you accepting my call, man. And you always give out the great wisdom and advice, and also put everything together and how we should look at in boxing and how we should look at how boxing is in terms of. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much, man.
All right.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Take care, brother.
Yep. Have a great day.
You too. All right. All right. That's the brother Abel Mahari. Yeah. That's what's good. That's what's good. Hey, Universal Truth says Booker T. Word looks like a pit bull. Why was this dude playing? Hey, some people you just gotta show them. Universal. And Booker T. Word showed him, huh? You think Hendrick was doing all them dance moves and everything after that? Got embarrassed on national TV. That fight was originally on Tuesday Night Fights, man. Watched that, I was cracking up, man. I watched it live when it happened. I was cracking up. I was like, look at this fool. Straight foolishness, man. Yep. Let's hear from my brother, the Focus Ball.
Get ready to take your striking game to the next level with the Focus Ball. Dramatically improved footwork, timing, head movement, hand-eye coordination, reflex, and overall fight IQ. It's lightweight and extremely portable, so you can train every time, everywhere. When you don't have a coach to do mitt work, get a Focus Ball. When you don't have a heavy bag to hit, get a Focus Ball. When you don't have a sparring partner, get yourself a Focus Ball. And when you just want to have fun punching and kicking, get a Focus Ball. When you train with the Focus Ball, you train your eyes and your brain to read punches so that you can hit and not get hit. Making this very simple device a must-have for all combat sports athletes and enthusiasts alike. So if you want to take your striking game to the next level, don't wait. Get the Focus Ball now.
Yeah! So as we come to the end of another Answering the Bell, our Sunday morning call in, let it be known that we still salvage the show with a couple of great calls. You know, the brother EJ and the brother Abel Mahari from Mahari Nation Sports Podcast. this is what it's all about, man. We try to talk about it all the time. Let you guys know how important it is to have those conversations. That's what the show is for. Almost 200 people. 56 likes only. 200 people, you guys. I keep telling you. There is something to what I say. There's something to it. But I want to thank those who donated to the Cash App. You know, thank you so much for your contributions there. We try to do this show where we make everybody a part of what we're doing here. You know, we had a donation to the PayPal, and that was from one of my brothers. I don't want to say your government name on here, but thank you so much for your PayPal donation. But yeah, there's going to be premieres every day this week, and several days out of the week there'll be multiple premieres. Like the Nerd Show is on a little hiatus while Drew Titan's on a different schedule, but I still got a review of the film Kraven the Hunter premiering roughly around the time that we do the Nerd Show, 8 p.m. Central. That's out there for you. And then throughout the week there's more premieres. So we're cooking on the channel regardless. You're going to see less. Okay, Universal. Thank you so much, Universal. That's from you. Okay, remember I said if you send a donation to the PayPal, just like with the Cash App, please alert me in the chat and say, Stormy, check the PayPal. Because, you know, I don't get an alert for it. I have to go to PayPal, and I just happen to check it while I'm signing off, and I saw that. So please, you know, just alert me in the chat, Universal. If that's your means of how you can support, just say Stormy PayPal, and then I'll read it, you know, because like I said to you guys before, I don't want to skip anybody. You know, I like to acknowledge you guys. So thank you so much for that donation, brother, Universal. But yeah, I'll be pulling back on some of the live streams, but there's still going to be plenty of video content. Only because I can see how the angles of Google and YouTube are working with me. That doesn't mean nothing is stopping. I'm just shifting things around. You understand? So just know that that's how I'm working it. And yeah, we're gonna make these things work for us. So with that being said, I will be releasing you guys to the rest of your Sunday. Enjoy it. I hope it's a beautiful day for you to do something nice with you and yours. And I want to say shout out to the mighty LDBC as we get ready to get on up out of here. Peace to everybody. Enjoy your week coming up ahead.
we are all ready to win, just as we are born knowing only life. It is defeat that you must learn to prepare for.